Hello and welcome to another episode of the Startup Operator Roundup. I'm Roshan Karyappa, and I also have with me a very hungover Gunjan Saha here as well. So if this is your first time listening to the podcast, we record startup content. So we talk to founders, operators, publish one episode every week, and on the weekends we record a roundup where we talk about what's really happening in the ecosystem, some new policy changes, fundraisers, product releases, and what have you. So, Gunjan, can
Hey,
you tell
hi.
us what we're talking about today?
Yeah, we'll dive straight into that. But hey, thanks for covering up.
Anytime, man.
Okay, so in this week's podcast, we'll be talking about the candid conversation that Prime Minister Modi had with Bill Gates last week at the Prime Minister's residence. And our beloved brand Amul is now going to enter the US markets.
Nice.
Within just 1 week, they're gonna launch four items over there.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah. Indian fintechs are not having the greatest of weeks. They are being hit with notices from the income tax department. And on the manufacturing side, Zetwork has recently bagged an order from Indian Oil to set up 1,400 EV charging stations across the petrol pumps.
Fantastic.
Swiggy has been spending over $125 million to keep Instamart functioning. Right. And I think they are planning for an IPO very soon. And if this continues, that's really going to take a hit on their valuations. So stay
Yeah.
tuned and let's get started. Roshan, how's your week?
The week's been okay. I mean, the usual for an RCB fan, right? 2 matches in a row. Not that we expected any differently.
In Bangalore, that too.
In Bangalore, that too. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why we support this silly team anymore. But yeah, hope it's been better for you guys. But yeah, KKR won. So
KKR one, yeah.
yeah, good luck, man.
Yeah, but what fielding, man? They're off 4 catches. Imagine.
Hey, the lesser said, the better, right? Let's
KKR
move
did
on,
not
please.
catch, man.
Oh, KKR? I didn't watch the match. I just see the results. I know it. I know it beforehand anyway, right? So
Okay, all right. Let's talk business. Prime Minister Modi hosted Bill Gates at his residence, and they spoke about a wide variety of topics ranging from artificial intelligence, digital public infrastructure, and efforts to combat climate change. In this conversation, the Prime Minister emphasized his dedication to bridge the digital divide in India. He has been instrumental in extending the technology infrastructure and taken it to the deepest corners of our country. Prime Minister also highlighted the use of AI at the G20 summit and Kashi Tamil Sangamam event, where the Prime Minister used AI to do a live translation of his speech from Hindi, English to the local languages. Bill Gates really seemed impressed. But for me, as watching the entire conversation, what I really like the most is our Prime Minister promoting his own app.
yeah,
And saying, hey, people don't need to click. If people want to click pictures with me, go to the app, go to the photo booth, take a selfie, AI will put me there.
yeah.
And that was pretty kick-ass.
That's pretty impressive, I should say. Yeah, great conversation. One of the better chats I have seen with the Prime Minister in recent times. Helps that Bill Gates is not a journalist, right? So, yeah, look, I think the world is very envious of our whole digital public infrastructure, right? How we've sort of been able to impact a population scale with these very fundamental things, right? Whether it's payments or identity and so on. Right, and Bill was very curious. My friend Bill was very curious about how we do these things. I think, look, couple of things, right? I think this is perhaps the first or second prime minister that we've had who has actually grown up in some amount of poverty, right? I mean, the previous one was Lal Bahadur Shastri, I think, right? So he is very intimately connected with the large mass of population who are in in that kind of circumstances, right? So I loved the point that he made that it's not technology for technology's sake, right? Technology has to be actually useful to someone, and that is when someone will benefit from it and will use it as well, right? So I liked what he said about women's empowerment, right? I mean, saying that women in the villages don't have to be relegated to like just milking cows and whatnot. He spoke about drone didis,
Yeah.
right?
Namo drone Didi.
Yeah, I mean, pretty awesome, right? I mean, they've become pilots, and plenty of other things, right? I really liked his perspective on AI, for instance, where he spoke about having to compete with Chat GPT. I think some of us can take a leaf out of that, right, and not make all the show notes just straight off of Chat GPT. But all of this stuff, right? And Bill Gates had this one very interesting question on how did he manage the vaccine hesitancy, right?
Yeah.
Which in the US, in the West, was a big thing, right? People not taking vaccines and so on. And here again, he spoke about how it was framed as virus versus life and not virus versus government, right? And yeah, it's been a couple of years since we had any amount of COVID situations, right? So yeah, touch wood. I mean, thank God.
Another thing that he highlighted was that, how the Prime Minister has been trying to democratize technology, right? And what he meant by that, he wants the population to trust technology. I mean, there's been a lot of narratives that AI is going to take over the jobs, people are going to lose their income. But he emphasized that how the government is implementing tech projects, as you mentioned, right, to deliver benefits to the last mile benefits, right? And I think India is doing a pretty commendable job at that.
Yeah, see, look, a lot of people in India have significantly benefited from technology, right? I mean, the circumstances have changed. People have been able to climb up the social ladder because of technology. So, this narrative of technology being this massive evil thing that's going to like loot you off your privacy and everything, that kind of narrative will not fly in a country like India, right? It's more of a sort of a Western narrative where people are prosperous to a certain extent and it's all doomsday after that, right? But yeah, very interesting chat. If you guys haven't seen it, I highly encourage that you go check it out.
We'll link it in the description below.
Yeah, we'll link it in the description below. So we're off to a good start, giving the producer some work already.
Yeah. All right, so next up, Amul is gonna expand in the US, and I think Amul is present in 50 plus countries already. It's the first time that they're entering the US markets. They have tied up with 108-year-old dairy corporation in the US, the Michigan Milk Producers Association. And while the US counterpart will be taking care of the whole sourcing and packaging, the Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation, or the GCMMF, they'll be taking care of the marketing aspects of it. They're launching Amul Taza, Amul Gold, Amul Shakti, and Amul Slim and Trim.
Awesome.
Any guesses for what the hot seller will be?
I think it'll just be the Amul Paneer, if you ask me. Yeah. I mean, or maybe the Taza one or the spiced buttermilk or something.
Slim and Trim.
There are a lot of slim and trim and vegan and non-GMO and all of these variants there, right? So I think that will probably get lost with in that crowd, right? But yeah, this is utterly butterly delicious news, right? Amul has been a pioneer on many fronts, right? Whether it is the advertising that we just referenced, right, kind of capturing the state of the nation, the mood of the public, and being very intimately connected with our social life, right? To second, I mean, the business model itself in terms of co-ops and how they sort of scaled that, right? So yeah, fantastic. I mean, Amul also launched their protein powder, by the way. Not just the protein powder. I think the protein drinks,
protein shake,
right?
yeah.
Pretty amazing, man.
And
$30.
it's cheap.
20-30 bucks, and yeah, you get like 20 grams of protein or something, right? Which is awesome. I mean, considering that the whey basically is milk waste, right? This should have been done ages ago, and it's a very profitable business. The Amul protein, no, I haven't, but yeah, I mean, I will be on the lookout. I mean, I've been thinking of.
I think you have to order it directly from their website.
Is it?
What I've heard, yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So yeah, but what not a big fan of Amul milk, right? I mean, we get...
He's moved on to the harder stuff. Yeah.
So on to our next topic. Over the past few weeks, the IT department has been knocking on the doors of some of the fintech companies in the country over funding that they have raised. The notices, which are served under Section 68 of the Income Tax Act, have clubbed the investments received by startups with the income that they have earned, and tax and penalties have been levied on the combined amount. For instance, one startup that is registered with DP IIT has been asked to pay 37 crores in tax and penalty for a funding of 40 crore rupees by VC investors. Section 68 of the Income Tax Act allows authorities to tax capital raised by a company as income if it fails to adequately explain the nature and source of the funds. Now, typically, DPIIT registered startups do not face such scrutiny. But some of the companies facing tax demands claim that they have furnished relevant shareholder agreements for assessment. Moreover, if an affected startup decides to appeal against the tax demands, it first has to deposit 20% of the overall tax demand. Now, do you think that is fair?
Look, I mean, we spoke about ease of doing business and everything, and one of the things I mentioned there was all of this regulation and compliance, right? The IT department for many, many years, in fact, under various governments, we've always said that they're one of these like extraordinarily roving cavalier type of folks, right? I mean, who can call into question anything and anyone, basically. In fact, that's what the Congress government, or rather the opposition, is saying now, because they've been slapped with a 1,700 crore penalty as well. Maybe, I mean, somebody trying to meet their financial year targets or whatever it is, right? I mean, it could just be that. But yeah, I mean, I hope that the Minister for IT and so on just intervene and figure this out, right? Because it doesn't obviously like set the right tone for sure. Yeah.
But all these various governmental bodies have been really busy. This, especially ED and income tax.
Yeah. Look, man, I mean, elections or no elections, these guys just have a lot of work, right? And India has an election almost, I don't know, every month, every few months, right? I mean, too many elections, in fact, right? And they've been mooting this.
Should we just do one election?
One nation, one election kind of theory. Like, I mean, I haven't like really studied the matter, so I won't comment as such. But yeah, I mean, the administrative activities cannot stop because of elections, right? So it is what it is, I suppose. But yeah, there is a narrative of a conspiracy.
Zetwork last week announced that it has bagged an order from Indian Oil Corporation to set up 1,400 EV charging stations across petrol pumps in India. Now, along with the rise of adoption in EV, the government is looking to expand the infrastructure because there's a lot of push for the adoption on EV, but I think that will only become successful if there's infrastructure to support it. As per government data, nearly 9,000 petrol pumps in India had EV as of July of last year. So this number is only expected to grow. But Zetwork, a fantastic company, we had the founder on the podcast earlier. They were one of the first manufacturing unicorns in the country when they raised funding during the lockdowns, and they have done pretty well. They have expanded across verticals. They have raised funding. What's your take on that?
Yeah, so Zetwork was Zetwork, Off Business, Bizongo, a bunch of these folks, right? I mean, I think they pioneered this whole SaaS plus marketplace plus financing kind of model. So even when I spoke to Amrit about a couple of years or more back, right? I mean, he did mention that they were going to verticalize along a few of these supply chains and start delivering some of the stuff themselves, right? And I think this is something similar, right? Around the same initiative. So fantastic stuff, man. I mean, at Protosphinx, right? Shashank Bhai has been pioneering this vibe shift into marketing, right? And I hope that we make all kinds of things, right? From ball bearings to smartphones to chips and whatnot.
The hardware manufacturing, hardware startups has been becoming a trend in the past few months.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. For sure, it's cool, right? I mean, look at the response that we've got for Ethereal or Orangewood and stuff, right? So we're going to have the founder of Solinas. I'm not sure if you heard of these guys. They were on Shark Tank as well. They have a robot that kind of cleans all these drains and so on. Oh, wow. Right? So, yeah.
I think there was a company I came across, a Kerala-based company.
Them too, I think. Yeah. They also have something similar. Okay. 2-3 of them.
The same one.
Yeah, possibly the same one. Yeah.
Okay.
He's hungover, so you can't really trust him.
Swiggy's quick commerce business, Instamart, they are making considerable losses, even though their food delivery business is inching closer to profitability. Swiggy is still trailing publicly listed Zomato in food delivery and quick commerce both. Zomato is leading the GOV splits of 56-44 and 60-40 respectively. This gap now will definitely affect Swiggy's valuation when it plans for its IPO. And as per estimates, valuations could be 20.3 to 26% lower than Zomato's valuation multiple. Now that's a big number. I
Yeah.
mean, Zomato also, while it listed, it was valued pretty high, but
I mean, it
then
was
it corrected.
absurdly higher.
Yeah, but then it corrected, and now Zomato stocks are doing pretty well.
Yeah, but now they've demonstrated the fact that they can be profitable, right? And
They've also streamlined their business a lot. They shut down a lot of their, international arms, consolidated it within India.
yeah, look, the whole Blinkit, Instamart, Dunzo kind of business. I mean, I'll stick my neck out and say I don't think it can ever be profitable, right? It's a growth business, not a profitable business. So I don't know how you can make any kind of money like delivering stuff for 100, 150, $200. At one end of the value chain, you're saying that you want an order value of like 500, 600, $700 so that you have a healthy amount of margin to play with, and at the other end you're happy delivering a couple of liters of milk and veggies or cigarettes or whatever else, right? So I don't know. I don't know what the rationale is, right? I just feel that as of now, the way I look at it, I don't think it can ever make profits.
But then how is Zepto doing so well? How come Zepto is doing so well?
I don't think they're profitable, right? I don't think they're profitable. And they're not doing the 8-minute or 9-minute delivery that they were doing earlier. I think it's more like 19 minutes or 20 minutes or
now
something.
times have increased, but I mean,
But even so, I mean,
I delivered in 10 minutes.
Look, quick commerce as such, right? I don't know, man. I really don't know if it'll be unit level profitable at any time. I don't think so, right? So all of these Instamarts, Blinkits, and Zeptos will have to figure their way to something else, like some other value-added service, right? I don't think they're going to replace the Kirana guy for sure.
But can you imagine if all these quick commerce companies disappeared?
Yeah, I mean, at least as a public service, someone should run it, right? I mean, the VC should fund them and, whatever. I often, dread forgetting my keys and not having a Dunzo or, some kind of Swiggy courier to be able to, like, get my keys in time, right? So, yeah, I mean, it sucks. But guys, please figure out your shit, and I hope you guys make a lot of money and are profitable. So, yeah, we can have a convenience.
Yeah. Also, don't increase the platform fee every other day.
You want them to be profitable and also not increase platform fee, right? I mean,
Indian consumers are the most demanding in the world.
Absolute worst, and yeah, classic example right there.
Here are the notable fundraisers from the past week. Non-bank lender Ambit Finvest raised 690 crores or $82.7 million from Japan-based Daiwa Securities Group. iFinance raised 16.2 million in debt funding from German impact investor Invest in Visions private funds. Specialty coffee brand Subco raised $10 million from Nikhil Kamath, Bloom Founders Fund, the Gauri Khan Family Trust, Priya and John Abraham, and Sangeeta Jindal. Guess people really love their coffee. And cleantech startup Bamboo raised 60 crore rupees or about $7.2 million from Bloom Ventures, Blue Asha Capital, Mumbai Angels, and Indus Capital. I really want to try Subco coffee.
Yeah, specialty coffee, right?
Yeah.
And now I think you'll get promos also because of less rate funding.
Yeah. A lot of money in performance marketing going in now.
But yeah, very diverse financing, D2C, I suppose.
And clean tech.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey.
Pretty lean week though.
Lean week. So for our talk of the town section, there's a very nice tweet by Arindam Paul. We had him on the podcast as well. He says there are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and every year Startup Janta is seeing cred ads on IPL and tons of posts on how cred makes money, cred advertising, cred points, cred biz model, and whatnot. And he says, apna kaam kar lo, bhai. And I think he has very nicely encapsulated all of our sentiments in one tweet.
Yeah. I mean, any new interesting cred ads that have come up? I mean, I haven't caught any of them. But yeah, I mean, this is about the time of the year, I suppose, right? Will cred make money? I don't know.
Subscribe to Startup Operator to find out.
In following episodes.
Yeah. So that's it, folks, for this week's Roundup. We hope you enjoyed the show. Please do all the good stuff, like, share, comment, and please do rate and review us on your favorite podcast platform. If you send us a screenshot, Roshan might just send your biryani your way. So yeah, that's it. See you again next week. Take care. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Wait. We have a surprise visitor in the studio.
Oh yeah.
We have
Who? I
at
can't
Chris
see
Bot.
him.
Can we just like zoom in on his face, like, or maybe he can zoom into the camera? Hey,
Like, share, and subscribe
there you go. All right,
to my podcast also.
bye guys. See you. That was enough of it. See you.